Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to it. If you were new here, please make sure that you subscribe. There's the subscribe button below. It's very free, so you don't have to worry about any fees being spent, and please make sure that you do share this channel and that you like, comment. Just let's get interactive so that we can learn from each other. All right. So as you might have seen from the title of this video, today I'll be talking about how to integrate your spiritual life and your professional life. This is something that most people find difficult, or most people worry about before they go into the spiritual journey. So I just wanted to share what I have experienced, and yeah guys, so let's get into it. Okay, so I've made notes here because I wanted to make sure that I covered the most important things. And yeah guys, firstly I do want to say that just before you do decide to accept your calling, or I mean, doesn't necessarily mean your calling of becoming a sangoma. It could be a calling to become a pastor or whatever. It's very important that you understand that people around you will ask a lot of questions, and the best way to cater for everyone and to accommodate everyone is to help them understand what you are going through. And I'm hoping this video will sort of give you some light on how you can approach this. All right. I think the most important thing first is to prepare yourself, right? Before we go into becoming, for example, school, you prepare yourself for school, and the process of Uktwaza is essentially school, right? Uyotwaza, you are going to be, led by somebody, you are going to be trained by somebody, and before that process takes place, you need to prepare yourself mentally, you need to prepare yourself physically, spiritually, and all of those things, because it is a very daunting journey, and preparing yourself for that is very important, so that you will learn as much as possible, take in as much as possible, and obviously reap the benefits of giving in to this process. So I think that's the most important thing. And again, if you prepare yourself, it's easy to prepare the people around you. Because guys, Mario Twasa, it's not just about you. There are other factors involved, and you need to be able to cater for these factors, right? So if you have family members who don't understand that whole process, I think the best way is to try and educate them about this, right? Get them to watch videos, make them understand the importance of spirituality. Sometimes you get people who are atheists who don't believe in any form of spiritual life and spiritual aspects, whatever. So it's important that you make them understand that yes, you care for them and all of those things. However, this is mostly about you, and if they want to be good people for you, they should be able to support you emotionally, mentally, physically, and all of those things. You don't need money from them or anything like that, unless you obviously do, which is another case. But if you want support from other people, you need to be able to educate them about this process, so that they can do this without feeling pressured or guilted into doing this. Because again, you remember, if it's a spiritual journey, you need as much positive vibes as possible, so that everything will go according to plan, right? And if you are in the corporate sector like I am, you also need to prepare people in the workspace. Remember, Mario Twasa, you wear ispandla, you wear beads, you wear all of those things, and after doing certain traditions or certain ceremonies, you'll come back smelling a type of way. So they need to understand why this is happening, and they also need to understand that this is not always going to be the case. It's usually going to be the first week after Msebenzi that you'll smell the when the dead skin goat is like smelling. Something they'll need to understand for that duration. So it's very, very important that you educate them about this. In fact, with me, I told them before I went to get ceremonies done that I'll come back wearing goat skin and all of those things, and it would have a little bit of a smell, so they need to understand. And in fact, my MD and my direct manager was very, very like supportive of it. In fact, they were like, I also want one, can I also get one, and all of those things. So I think just try and make light of the situation so that it'll be easier for you to sort of come back into a space without feeling judged or feeling left out. It's always best to educate people around you. Again, why? Because it helps them accept where you are as a person. All right. And so when you knew the process of Mutwasa, there's a lot of things that do take place. Sometimes you do get lost. Sometimes you will just disappear for a while, and it's not like physically disappearing. It could be you just going into a spiritual episode, like very short. They don't last for very long. They're very short. But these spiritual episodes are sometimes very difficult for people to understand, especially if they don't come from the same culture as you. So just educate people. Again, I guess I think the main thing that I want to emphasize here is educate people around all these important factors. When you go into a spiritual trance or anything, or something like that, around people that understand what you're going through, it's easy for them to either give you space and let you do the thing and sort of get past it. So this one time I remember I was walking with a colleague of mine. We were going to get lunch, and when we were there at Kauai, I literally went into a mode whereby I had to quickly pass on a message to the person who was helping us, and I spoke in my language, and my colleague didn't understand a thing of what was happening. But she understood, because I've explained to them. They know that Utaibizo is a sangoma, and he's gifted in this way. So they don't necessarily have to understand the ins and out, but they do have respect for it, and they won't question you when you sort of go into that and experience those certain things. So it's very important to educate to people and discuss and have an open conversation so that they learn about this thing, right? And I think as much as you want to be understood, you also shouldn't always find a balance between your spiritual life, your studies, because I also study and work. So your spiritual life, your studies, and your work, right? So I understand that the time that I dedicate towards building and becoming a person who can provide healing in the community, I should also be a person that should spend time in focusing on my studies and doing well in studies and passing and graduating and all of those things. And it's also very important that when it comes to the actual work that I get paid to do, my contractual agreements, that I contribute effectively and I don't let any of these things contribute to me underperforming at work. So that's very important. It's something that I cannot stress enough, because remember, all of these things require money, and if you don't have the money to do all of these things, it obviously will be a shift of balance. So always try, and if for example, if I'm getting the whole weekend, I know that on Monday I'll be tired. However, what I should do is make sure you plan ahead, prepare yourself physically, prepare yourself emotionally, spiritually, so that when you do go back to work the following week on a Monday morning, after having been to Inhlombe 3 days, that you've put in the extra work when you could, so that it doesn't affect your actual contracts and your actual work. So that's something that's very important that I cannot stress enough. And yeah, again, guys, continuously educate people, as you go deeper into the process of Uktwasa, or deeper into the process of your spiritual journey. There's a lot of things that unravel. Some of these things you do not anticipate, you do not think about them, because obviously you go into a journey that you don't necessarily know or understand yourself. So, continuously educate people. So for example, if you are going to start getting clients and you're going to start consulting people, some of these things do have an effect on you. So if you live with people, so for example, I live in a shared space, and the people that I live with, if I get clients coming into my space for certain consultations and things like that, they need to understand, okay, that at a specific time, because I take bookings at a specific time of the day, there will be smells and pepo. There will be times whereby I burn incense and all of those things. There will be times whereby I speak extra loud. There will be times whereby my voice will change and all of those things. So it's something that they need to, I continuously have to educate people about, so that they can sort of accommodate me. So it's a two-way thing. You accommodate people so that they can accommodate you. And Another important thing, do not overburden yourself, right? As a spiritual healer, we always put ourselves through this. We always overburden ourselves because we want to help where we can't. And unfortunately, this can have really bad effects on you as a person. So do not overburden yourself. If for example, ugobela wako tells you that you need to go to a certain place at a certain time, and you know that you have to be at work at that time, you cannot do that. You need to respect all the relationships that you have around this, and you need to allow all these relationships to work together so that they can accommodate you as well. Because remember, the relationship that you have as an individual with that of your ancestors is very important, and if you nurture it correctly, it makes it easier for you to also nurture all the other things around it, right? So don't overburden yourself, do not overcommit. Always make sure that there's a fine balance between everything so that everything can come to work together and not have you become a person who is depressed or a person who's facing a lot of mental health and pressure because yeah, it's not really ideal. So I mean, if there's anything else that you guys might have suggestions around or on or whatever, please do leave a comment below. I know that this is not a conversation that you can have in one sitting and hope to get all the answers that you need, but it's very important that you understand that these are some of the minimal factors that do contribute towards you becoming a person who finds balance towards your gift and in your work. And yeah, guys, if you have any questions or if you have anything that you'd like me to touch on in the next video or whatever, please do leave a comment below. I will be interacting with you guys as I always try to, and please make sure that you comment, like, and subscribe, and please share my video because I want it to be a thing for everyone. So yeah, guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video.